You know what, Bob? What an incredible resource to have when you were working on a story, to be able to go over and interview a guy who had played with Jackie Robinson, had seen as much baseball as he had seen. I tweeted this earlier. Talking to Don Zimmer was like opening up the baseball encyclopedia, except the stories just jumped off the page. They were so vibrant. I remember one time I was writing an article about Bernie Williams and his Hall of Fame chances, and as I looked at the numbers and broke down those numbers, I didn't think Bernie Williams was a Hall of Famer. A lot of Yankee fans don't want to hear that. I went over and presented my information to Don Zimmer. He looked at me kind of sternly, and I thought he's going to go against me. And he goes, "You're right," because I love Bernie. He's not a Hall of Famer.
All right, interesting. And he had so many great things to say about so many players, too, and had seen so much. And I thought it was interesting also what Joe Torre said, fire and ice. That's the way he described him, because Zimmer was more of a gambler. I mean, alongside him, Torre really had, Zimmer had his ear, and they had to figure out which way to go. That's pretty heavy stuff for a guy who's a bench coach.
I think that Don Zimmer brought bench coach into vogue, Bob. You go back in Major League Baseball history. The New York Times did a story on this a couple of years ago. Walter Alston had Pete Reiser back in the 60s. He kind of called him a bench coach. Became more of a job in the 90s, but I think that job was epitomized by what Zimmer did, and you're absolutely right. He was the one who got Torre to take some chances. Torre would often give him credit, and for any Yankee fans who remember 1996 and remember the scene of the Yankees winning that World Series, a lot of the players ran along the outskirts of the stadium, sort of a victory lap. They wanted to enjoy the moment with the fans. The reason they did that? Because Don Zimmer whispered into Joe Torre's ear, we should have the players go out there and enjoy this with the fans. Celebrate it with the people who helped you get here.